yeah, you're LeBron. Beat the guy's ass. Like, what are you doing? Like, and look, I love Delonte West. He's all fucked up and on the street somewhere. Probably he's dead.
Poor guy.
Poor guy's all fucked up. We had joked about LeBron pulled a mafioso move and had somebody dope him up. And I'm wondering.
All right, let's pour him. Let's pour him on air.
Pour him on air.
Oh,
we have,
what do you know?
Oh, wow.
What do you know? I brought out extra cups the other night.
Almost as if they were meant to be there. We're gonna.
You know, they do say the
We
Lord
ice.
works in the
We ice?
No, it's freezing.
It's true.
It's cold in there. It's
Don't
cold out
eat
here.
Just so you know, what is the zero sugar? You pour the rest of that in there.
Are you gonna give me the flat shit?
No, I'll take that one.
No, you don't want this.
Is it really flat?
Yeah, it's flat. The cap wasn't shut.
I'll have it.
It smells delicious.
It's,
Dude, Sunkist Diet Orange.
Sunkist is the best orange drink.
I mean,
Let's be
yeah,
honest.
it really is.
It's the king.
Yeah.
It's the king of
When
orange.
you
Sun.
see that,
Like if you ask them what Pony Woos, they'll tell you the same story. You gotta see Joe versus the volcano. I think you would thoroughly enjoy that.
that's funny you said that because I was
Especially Stone.
I was making
Meg Ryan,
I was making a joke about that.
a young
What are we doing here?
Meg Ryan, who, oh,
Is
Meg
the
Ryan.
wine in the fridge?
The wine is right here,
Oh, so that's cold.
hiding behind Big Pipe, and underneath Joe Booth.
Are we going half and half? Is this a
Probably.
50-50?
Probably. Here.
Is this an Arnold?
is cold.
Is this an Arnold wino?
Might be. Give me the flat stuff. I'm not wasting this shit. Give me the flat stuff. Anyway, this is ID for those who don't disagree. It is a Thirsty Thursday. We are here at Dago Donnie's. Is it Donnie's Dago's? Dago Donnie's. I always fuck this up.
Dago Donnie's.
Dago Donnie's. Boston just
The
had
Donnie Dago sounds good
They
too.
did, yeah. They didn't disappoint. We had a Downey right in the beginning. Boston outlast Minnesota, 118-115, and now we have a pivotal game right here with the Golden State Warriors and the Philadelphia rejuvenated, I might add, off the mat. Philadelphia.
This is a good matchup.
It's a good matchup tonight. But while that's on, we're really gonna. The crust of segment 2 is college football's playoff has a Final Four.
But hold on a second.
And,
I mean,
what?
look, guineas get a bad rap for a lot of things.
And most of
Okay.
it is true.
Well, some of it's true. We also get our due for a lot of things. But the Italian
And some of that is true too.
And some of that is true too. The Italian wine cooler, my friends.
Oh, it's a hidden gem.
Don't be snobby about wine.
If you
Pour a little soda into wine. Oh my God. You know,
you pour a little Sunkist into it.
well, growing up, a lot of it was spritzers. So it was Sprite, it was ginger ale. That's all well and good. You pour some orange soda, even some Coke, into some red wine. Whew.
An entire island of Pony Woos can't be wrong. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, this is IDD. Segment 2. As I said before, college football has a Final Four. Ohio State, talk about revenge.
Performance of the round.
Yeah, it's them and Notre Dame. I say them slightly more because it was. I mean, Notre Dame had to go down into the bayou there, Bayou Louvetre, and take on a king of the SEC in their back, not their backyard, but their neighborhood. They're in their neighborhood. Let's put that. But Ohio State had to go across the country to the Rose Bowl and face a team that was waiting for them.
That was undefeated.
That was
right?
undefeated. But this is the thing I don't. And I'm not trying to pick on them. The only problem I have with Ohio State, believe it or not, is the coach. I can't stand this guy. And he did it again. He flopped his gums up to the wind. He couldn't just be a...
Of course he did.
Which makes you hate him even more. And I'm happy for Creekmore, and I'm happy for Joel, but this guy pisses me off. It's nobody's business. And
You seen these uniforms?
what, Gold State?
Trash.
They are kind of trash. They
Looks
look
like a
mixed-
McDonald's
they look
high school
they
All-American
look
jersey.
like that's the kid from Indiana.
Yeah,
Blue layup.
Jackson Davis.
Yeah, he's usually pretty good. He blew
That was awful.
That was atrocious. I don't know who the hell that is. That's
Paul George.
Clang.
Oh no, that's Caleb Martin.
Oh, you mean a welding torch to play in this league here?
Is it Caleb or Cody?
5-2 Golden State early. I'm sorry. Look, Ohio State goes out there, bends over Oregon.
I mean, they beat him in the first quarter.
It was over. It was over. I was like, and I didn't know. See, Ohio State went out there looking to pick a fight because of what happened. How Oregon didn't know that was coming is what I don't get, because they looked like they were a step and a half slow. Now, look, Creekmore actually said something about this, and I didn't really pay attention to it, but he may have been right. But when they had set up the playoffs, I had seen Creek, and we'd seen the matchups, and they potentially could be going there. He's like, yeah, that might get him sitting for a couple weeks. They might be rusty. And I'm wondering if that had something to do with it. Now, I'm not saying they would have won if they had played last week, but I think they might have woke up a little sooner than they did. Anyway, they won 41-21. They will draw Texas, that was the game of the weekend. Texas, Arizona State.
Without a doubt.
Oh my God, that was when they put this together. This is what that was the kind of game. And look, the more this goes, the more of these you're going to see. But
the funny part is that was the one game we felt like
would be a blowout.
Wouldn't be a Donnie.
Yeah.
And man, fucking Arizona State said, "Fuck everybody that doubted us."
I'll tell you what,
they should have won that.
They deserve a lot of credit. Well, I don't know. The Texas kicker wet himself.
Yeah,
wet himself.
Dude,
just
okay,
wet himself.
That's true.
But
Arizona State gave up basically 2 fucking plays and a kickoff return.
Yeah.
And then dominated the game. Yeah. They just couldn't fucking score.
Yeah. Well, Texas,
how many times did they fuck up in the red zone?
Does have an elite defense, true. They were playing against one of the top 3 or 4 defenses in the country. And Texas held it. They bent, but they didn't break.
Dude, but there was a couple times where they had the ball at like the 6-yard line. They ran it 3 times in a row. I'm like, dude, look at that D line. Stop it.
Yeah, you can't run on Texas.
Well, do something.
I don't know if anybody
do something different.
I don't know if anybody can honestly run on Texas, and that would include Notre Dame.
That kid ended up breaking some runs, but man, he was beat to hell.
Yeah,
that kid Scatabo.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the SEC that I always laugh when. I always call them the NFL D League. You watch an SEC. This is why I can't wait to retire to South Carolina because we're going to be right in the SEC with the Gamecocks, who are ranked. And by the way, they recruited the kid from Georgia. By the way, the quarterback who played to them. I'll get into him in a minute. But anyway, the thing with the SEC is that is the definition of smash mouth football.
Yeah.
When you watch pick any 2 of those teams, you're going to hear the hits like sitting in your living room. All these teams, they hate each other. It's a Donnie every day. Oh man, all of them.
Dude, what'd you think about that non-targeting call? I thought that was helmet to helmet. He didn't deserve to be tossed from the game, but he binged him right in the fucking face.
And protocol is
that's a 15-yard. You don't toss him for that.
I mean,
but that was a big fucking play.
When you go helmet to helmet, though, they think you're trying to endanger.
That's 15 yards.
That's when you get tossed because they're like, you know better than to do that.
Well, but the only reason why I might not toss him is because he didn't fully bend like that. He was very close, and he got his face mask right into his face.
In their mind, it was more of intent.
Yeah. Because they didn't think it was intentional.
Yeah. So.
But it was still helmet to helmet bang on a defenseless guy.
I agree with you. But that game. That Texas-Arizona State game was everything you wanted. And, we were here on New Year's Eve watching Penn State, who convincingly won against a good Boise State team and pretty much dominated it. Boise State had their chance. Boise State kept shooting themselves in the foot early when they had really some chances to take the lead. They kept fucking up. And Penn State's got a good defense, and they have more talent. To their credit, they have not shit themselves yet. They've played well. So
who does Penn State get? They
got Notre Dame.
They got your boys.
That's but the thing is, what Brian was sitting here when Penn State finally put him away on. See, this is why you don't need 12 teams. And what Brian doesn't get, I said it that night, and I'll say it again. This is the first year of this. Yeah. The first time the NCAA expanded the field from 32 to 64, every first round game was an embarrassment. Yeah. And then, but then all of a sudden the talent spreads out, and then you start having the 5-12 bracket and the 4-13 bracket, and now we've had 2 16s beat 2 1s in the past 10 years. So this is what will happen over time.
You're saying in 100 years it'll be good?
No, it won't take as much time in college football because
it's not as many teams.
The threshold will be 16.
Right.
And we have to copyright that because you and I are going to make a lot of money off
Super
that.
16.
We have to copyright it right away because they're going to come looking for that, and we're going to make them pay through the nose for it because there is no better name for it. Super 16 selection show. Super 16 selection Sunday.
Super 16 Saturday.
Super 16 Saturday. Are you kidding me? This thing, it's gold, and it's going to be worth its weight in gold. And the thing is, they're going to be making billions of dollars off this. So for us asking for a couple of mil, they ain't going to give a shit. $3 million? No, make it 10. What do you mean 10? That's crazy. I'm like, how long are you going to have this tournament? So I'll tell you what, you can give us 10 now, or you can just pay us $1 million every single year for the rest of the time that they have this tournament every year, like Barry Bonds.
You mean Bobby Bonilla?
Bobby Bonilla, yeah. Which, by the way, they might be willing to do. So it'd be $2 million. We make $1 million each year for
$5 million a year.
I think one's nice.
Dude, they're making billions.
You think we get 5?
What do
You think we get 5 a
What are
year?
you, fucking Austin Powers?
Do you think we
I
get
want
5?
$1 million.
But a year for the rest of our lives? You never sit.
Dude, a $10 million sponsorship for a name?
How about a signing bonus, then $1 million a year? Like we want $20 million up front, 10 apiece, and then $1 million every
$5
year.
million a year piece. $10 million? You kidding me?
Signing bonus each, 20 million total. So 10 each, and then we get $1 million a year for the rest.
$5 million a year. I'm negotiating this.
I think we can do it. We have to copyright it because it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's
So right,
Super
the fact that fucking Ole Miss and Miami and Alabama were left out of this thing. Oh yeah, and there'll be more. There will be more. Trust me on this. So, but look, I love what that game. Very impressed with Ohio State. I can't stand their coach. He's killing me. And then Notre Dame tonight. And I went back and forth with this. I predicted on the show they would win, and this is before I knew the game wasn't actually in Athens. It was in the Superdome.
Yeah.
Which is still kind of that's Georgia knows.
It's close.
Yeah, Georgia knows that's a state away. But the thing is, the one thing about Notre Dame that has scared me all year long has been the coach and the quarterback. And they only lost one game, but I'm like, those two had to prove it to me. And tonight, I never thought I would say this. This guy thoroughly outcoached Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
He thoroughly outcoached him. I mean, from the punt downs to the offset, he outcoached Kirby Smart, who I think is the best coach in the country. And he did it convincingly, I might add. And then Notre Dame's defense. Now, here's the thing about this kid that I know what people who don't know are going to say. Well, that kid is a backup. That kid, by the way, is a sophomore who was a top 100 recruit. He owns every passing record in the state of Georgia high school football. His last year, he threw for 4,600 yards. This is in like 11 games. He threw for 55 touchdowns and 1 pick.
He didn't lose them the game.
No, he played well. It wasn't him.
I mean,
wasn't him.
it hurt them that they didn't have Beck, but they lost. They did some dumbass shit.
Notre Dame beat them. They
they
beat them up. This was I said to him, this was going to be a rock fight. Notre Dame beat up the bully on the block. Because most people would say before this term began, the most physical team in this tournament is the Georgia Bulldogs. Nobody would have disputed that.
Dude, that forced fumble
Yeah.
where that dude came off the end and just.
I mean, Notre
blew him
Dame's
up.
front seven. I said they were the best. I said both teams. There's 10 NFL players on both those rosters right now, 5 on each side, and they played like it. For the most part, they played like it. And Notre Dame's front seven is nasty. They are big. They are physical. They are fast. And they are relentless. And this is what I kept telling.
But dude,
tell
the
Joe.
crazy part is same with Georgia.
Yeah, I said the two
Georgia's
best
fucking
defenses.
line on both sides.
Yeah, nasty. NFL. And if it's
But that offensive line started just folding.
Notre
They were
Dame's-
sending extra pressure and they couldn't pick it up.
I'm telling you, I keep saying Notre Dame has the best defense in the country. And they proved it tonight. Georgia, by the way, only 2 times all year, only 2 times did they rush for less than 100 yards in a game. They lost both of them. Tonight was the third. Think about that.
Yeah.
The other 2 teams that did that to them were SEC teams. So Notre Dame.
It was so wild though because it was a fucking rock fight, like you were saying. It was 6-3
at the half.
And
and
no,
then also right before that.
It was right before that. It was 6-3.
Yeah.
Notre Dame hits the field goal.
Yep.
With, I don't know, 40 seconds they decided to...
Yeah, I thought it was over, like halftime,
Yeah,
going to
but
kneel on it, whatever.
They decided to drop this kid back. He gets blindsided, fumble.
Hit.
Next play is a Notre Dame touchdown pass.
Slant.
And then Notre Dame gets the ball coming out of the third quarter and runs back to kick.
Yeah.
And it was like...
Bang.
Georgia was just in shock.
Yeah.
They had chances to still get back in it.
No. Notre Dame
They couldn't.
is for real.
Yeah.
And I've been saying it all year long, and everybody thought I was crazy. Well, none of you are saying that now.
I thought you were crazy.
So-
but again, that was me just with my bias against Notre Dame. It's not
You?
Not because I...
Biased against the... No.
I don't have bias.
No, not you. No.
I'm not a biased
This is
person.
not a biased individual. No.
I don't see football team names.
No. He doesn't see Irish or Italian.
That's
He
right.
only sees shades of Portuguese. You know, things like that.
Portuguese.
It was a joke.
Never heard of that.
Portuguese.
Oh.
Shades of
We were trying to say Portuguese.
Shades of Russian?
You
No.
said Portuguese?
Portuguese.
So it was
We used to call him
I
Portuguese.
kind of like that.
Portuguese.
Portuguese.
We used to call him that, but not Portuguese. Portuguese.
Really?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
They would say it.
Portuguese?
Portuguese.
Get out of
He's
here.
Portuguese.
It was Portuguese.
Portuguese. They were saying Portuguese, but they talk so fast, it sounds like Portuguese. So we took it as
It's like
Portuguese.
Italian.
Yeah.
He's Italian.
Yeah. So
Italian? No, Italian.
anyway, Tom's not like that. You know, Trust me. All that stuff you see about the Irish, that's just acting. He doesn't really mean that.
That's right. I mean, I am half Irish.
So you are. So anyway, kudos to Notre Dame for going. That was the game that no team wanted to go play them down there, and they did, and they outplayed them, and they outcoached them, and that sets up a Final Four. Look, this is gonna be fun.
Hold on. Before we go to the Final Four,
Yeah.
I thought it was funny that, and maybe you'll say this is true, but I just thought it was funny that Oregon fans were crying. Dude, I crushed that fucking Oregon fans.
Someone's working from home tomorrow.
Oregon fans were crying that they were undefeated, ranked number 1 in the country, and had to were they number 1?
Yeah.
And had to play Ohio State. I think it's kind of funny.
Ohio State had 2 losses. Probably should have been ranked a little lower because Michigan was one of them. Notre Dame, as I said, is the one who got fucked. Ohio.
There was a bunch of teams.
Well,
because
Miami got fucked.
Dude, Texas shouldn't have been the lower seed to Arizona State.
But they were a conference champion.
I know, but it's just silly. Like,
look, I agree with you right now, but I will tell you, as the talent will spread out, and this will,
and then it'll make sense.
It'll make sense. Yeah, it will.
Because don't you feel like that's a
you
little?
You can't. No, because look, if you're going to do
I guess
this,
it is opinion based because they don't play the same teams.
If you're going to do this right, because March Madness doesn't do that, so you can't have.
They pick the top 4 seeds.
Yeah, I mean,
they pick the top.
Yeah, but they're generally from 4 different conferences, from 4 different parts of the country. It's not.
Well, no, they're not always 4 different conferences.
It's rare that
you'd have Duke and UNC in the top.
That
4.
happened like once. Like once. And I'm not look at. Yeah, when you get a field of 64, you can do that. But in a field of 16, if it ended up being 16,
right? But imagine them putting somebody number 1 that's in like this shit bag, like.
Look, technically,
the CAA.
Technically,
like, they're like,
Oregon.
The CAA,
Oregon is a Pac-10 team. Technically, this is their first year, and they were the best team in the Pac-10. They were a Pac-10 team. That conference still exists. They've added 4 teams to it. It will get back to 10. And again, with the NIL, this is going to happen faster. This is why it's going to happen faster because now everybody can openly pay everybody. Nobody has to hide it no more. So now it's not about trying to get or worried about getting caught.
You don't have to hide it, but you have to do it in weird ways.
Yeah, but the thing is, you'll be able to now. And this will also level the playing field. Now you've got 16 teams, or we'll have 12, but it will eventually be 16 that can win it when they see all the money. This Final Four is going to be awesome. I'll tell you right now, Ohio State and Texas, woo! Texas will be the best defense Ohio State has seen all year.
Yeah.
By far. See, this is the problem with Oregon. I didn't think Oregon was winning this thing before it started because their problem was, 1, their schedule. They only played Ohio State and Penn State. And 2, their defense was suspect. No one talked about Oregon and their defense. Everyone said the offense is high-flying, super fast. They hit you. That no-huddle, yeah. But no one ever said, wow, that defense is a stonewall. No one ever said that. They gave up.
You said in college teams play, 20 points better at home?
20 points better.
They won by 1 when they played them at home, and
they could have lost. They
could have lost by 20.
Lost by 20 on a neutral site.
Yeah, so it's
about right. But the thing is, Oregon's defense isn't an elite defense, and I'll tell you what, Ohio State made them look stupid.
Yeah, I didn't even watch any of it.
The secondary, there was 4 or 5 plays where they were just. What happened?
Draymond fell on his leg.
Oh, that was last year.
Oh, that was last. No, that wasn't tonight.
Oh, that was last year when that happened. Remember? It's not tonight. It was last year. He has the mask on now. He has the mask on. Dirty Draymond with his dirty tactics.
Well, this is kind of one I wouldn't mind it because it's like dirty on dirty.
That was before he became dirty, though. In fact, that might have been what turned him over to the dark side. He hadn't done that before. That was the regular season.
Dude, all the clips that I always send the videos of, they're not just from last season.
The first time I saw it was your series.
That was awful.
It was awful. It was Pistons awful.
It was Bill Laimbeer. I can't
Bill
stand
Laimbeer get a tan and
oh my God,
grow about
Steph
4
Curry.
inches?
What the fuck was that? He just dribbled around for 15 seconds and threw the ball high up.
Steph plays to that Harlem Globetrotter music. Swish. Yeah. Curry from 50 feet. Swish. It's like that. So that's Steph Curry. So.
Cat Williams trying to take credit for Steph Curry's long shooting.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
It's Cat Williams.
You know the comedian.
Oh, him. Yeah.
He's funny.
Yeah, he is.
Nick Nurse.
But this Final Four, This is going to be two great matchups. And again, we're not going to pick. We have a week. We'll pick them before, but
Yeah, but give me a little preview because
Well-
I don't really know what the fuck's going on.
Ohio State's offense is playing the best in the tournament so far. Their offense has been better than everybody's. Now, again, they haven't faced a good defense yet. Tennessee was known for their running game, and they'd pound you, but they weren't a lockdown defense, and neither is Oregon. So they were going to be able. They've dropped 42 and 41. They
games?
in both their games. They're going to have a hard time doing that against Texas. They are, because Texas is physical. They are fast. They are mean. They played a better schedule, and they have an offense that can match them. This game is going to be in the Cotton Bowl,
Which is
in Texas, which I don't understand that. Because to me, it's an unfair advantage for Texas.
Yeah.
That's a home game for Texas. I don't like that. This should be
You sure?
somewhere. Yeah, if it's I think it's the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
It's in Texas. It's if it is the Cotton Bowl, one of them's playing in the Cotton Bowl.
Well, I guess it would be hard to like.
I think the other one's the Orange Bowl, where Notre Dame is playing Penn State. That's fine. They're both flying from the north.
But the thing is, they've planned where these games are going to be a year ago, so they can't like.
Yeah, but here's the thing. What they've planned is these are all bowl sites. They're all open this time of year because they're going to have a bowl game there. They have a different level of flexibility, like the NCAA tournament. Once the field is set, then they can set where these games are going to go, because they have the stadiums, they have the time, because it's in the bowl season, and those games aren't played at the same time every year, but they're played in the month of January.
Yeah.
So you have some flexibility with this. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I just don't like the fact
because it's not like travel plans or ticket plans
and
are
I'm
made.
not saying
before.
Ohio State can't win this game. They can. But that's an unfair advantage. Well, if you're in the Final Four, you should not have an advantage like that.
Agreed.
I don't think you should. And I think that's unfair.
But it's like at the Super Bowl, right? Like sometimes you can play in your home stadium.
That was the first time that ever happened.
But it can happen.
Fortunately, for forever, the New Orleans Saints were the Aints. And they
And-
had about 8 Super Bowls, and they were never good enough to
And if you
get
think
there.
about it with March Madness, it happens all the times with basketball teams.
Yeah.
There's the
first
field is so
round.
big. It's
The first
like,
round.
right.
Yeah, like
sometimes
Duke-
UVA is at DC or UNC is in North Carolina.
Duke or North Carolina goes to Charlotte.
It happens all
North
the
Carolina's
time.
like,
People are
wow.
like, that's horseshit.
Yeah, that's horseshit. No, it's true. It's true.
I
But I
don't
think
know.
with college football, because they have that whole month, I think they have some flexibility where they can avoid this. Because what that Oregon, if you think about it, what the Oregon-Ohio State game was, if the Rose Bowl still existed for that reason, it'd be the Pac-10 champ against the Big Ten champ. And that's what it was. That's really what it was. So it's like that actually worked out. But that's what that bowl is. The Cotton Bowl, I mean, Boston College, Doug Flutie went down there and beat Houston in the Cotton Bowl, which is a home game, and they beat him down there. But that was when Flutie won the Heisman. So I don't know. They say it's a neutral site. I don't geographically agree with them. I just don't. So when we look at the bracket right now, this game, by the way, here's the other thing. Yeah, it's the Cotton Bowl. Notre Dame.
Oh, AT&T Stadium.
Yeah.
Is that where the Cowboys play?
Yep. That's Jerry's World. And then the Capital One Orange Bowl. So here's the problem. Of the 4 teams left, guess who has the least amount of time off?
Teams that played tonight.
Notre Dame. Because of the tragedy that happened yesterday in New Orleans. By the way, our thoughts and prayers go out to those fans. That was, I mean, oh my God. And this guy was an American. He was in the military, the U.S. military. He was talking about killing his family first. And then there's a recording of this, I guess, of him talking about killing his family first. Fell behind financially. His business was going under. He was behind on his, he was in financial trouble. And he snapped. And I'm not, that's no excuse for what he did. He's dead,
Dude,
obviously.
seeing the videos of the truck on the street is just fucking crazy.
It's terrible. And, he shoots 2 police officers. I mean, this is, just fucking awful. So, look, it shouldn't have happened that way. Obviously, no one thought that. But, Notre Dame, again, is going to have the short end of the stick here because they're going to have the shortest amount of time to rest. Penn State's been sitting around for 3 days. Or 2 days, rather. So, and same with the other 2 schools. So, look, it's a week. Penn State, we'll talk about this next week. We pick them, but Penn State has a very good defense. I'll tell you what, this coach from Notre Dame showed me something tonight. I didn't think he was capable of this. I mean, he really pushed every right button at the right time, and I didn't think he had that in him. I was shocked by that. I thought if they were going to lose, he would be a reason why. Him or the quarterback, who, by the way, the quarterback tonight, talk about balls. I mean, he ran right into the teeth of that Georgia defense. He was tough. He's a tough kid. I mean, he reminds me, you're going to hate this, he reminds me of Danny Dimes. Fearless. He's tough. He just, Danny Dimes doesn't give a shit. He'll put his head down right
Danny Dimes, like, it's like when you look at him, you can't tell if there's anything going on inside.
Yeah, the engine's running.
This kid this kid seemed to have somebody behind the wheel.
Yeah, he did. And he had no fear. There was a play of that third down where he somersaults. Mary goes head first. He dives at the guy and then flips over. I'm like, this dude's fucking crazy.
It was like, one of the final first downs.
That iced it. Yeah. So I mean, look, that was a rock fight. It was two heavyweights going at it, and a lot of people thought Notre Dame wasn't a heavyweight. They are again. And whoever these four teams, I wouldn't be surprised if any one of them won it.
Dude,
I think these are the four best teams in the country.
Georgia had some terrible drop passes in that game.
They did.
Yikes.
Yeah. And that kid played well.
You got a backup in there. You can't be dropping.
That kid played well. I mean, that's a lot of pressure. He didn't look like a rookie to me. No, he played well. That kid's going to start next year. Georgia's going to be.
His first throw was a back shoulder sideline.
Yeah,
throw.
I mean that kid's. Yeah, this
where the guy stopped and just it was.
I mean, Georgia's going to be just fine. Okay, because he's going to be there. He's going to be their starting quarterback next year. They will be right back in this thing.
Bobby Jackson.
But Bobby Jackson. But we will obviously we'll preview those games next week. We're going to take a quick break. Segment 2 will come back.
Are we going to do a pick segment?
We have to do a pick segment.
It's kind of like the NFL is just so shitty.
Well, but you know what though?
Last week of the year,
we have to because this is for the first pick. We have to talk about this.
Yeah.
We have to. He and I both have conundrums. Drake may have started. All right, we'll talk about it.
He is?
Yes, we'll talk about it.
Wow.
We do have to talk about
That's
this.
dope.
Yeah, segment 3 coming right up. And by the way, Pipey first.
Yeah, definitely.
And perhaps another cocktail.